It's beginning to feel a lot like October because the Wild are back on the ice. Welcome to another episode of Wild Amplified, presented by Pilot Games. I'm your host, Kirsten Krull, and we have a lot to discuss, and I think we should start with some good news. Matt Dumba is back after being listed on IR, and Jared Spurgeon is back skating, just to name a couple of things. I know you are all just as excited as I am to have Wild hockey back, but no one said it better than Marcus Foligno. The team has been out in California this week for another West Coast road trip with matchups against the Kings and Ducks. Let's take a look at next week's schedule, along with the rest of the games rescheduled from the Wild's pause. Young guys have really been stepping up in this unusual season, especially down in Iowa. A number of players from the Iowa Wild have been called up early on this season, but this week we are looking at one in particular. Defenseman Calen Addison made his NHL debut on Tuesday night against the Kings. We have him on the show a little later in this week's episode, but we wanted to give him a shout out. Congrats on the debut. We're excited to see you on NHL ice. While we're talking about the young guns stepping up, let's keep it going. Last week, Brad Bombardier explained how the AHL has relaxed some rules regarding young draft picks being called up, and man, has that worked out great for our Iowa Wild. Check out Adam Beckman's OT game winner from last week.
The Beckman left circle with a shot. He scores! Adam Beckman wins it in overtime!
And in more Wild prospect news, he was impressive throughout World Juniors, and he hasn't taken his foot off the gas yet. Wild prospect Matt Boldy was named the Hockey East Co-Player of the Week last week, and for good reason. He had a career-high 5-point performance last Friday, which included a goal and 4 assists. His 4 assists was the first time a Boston College player has done that since Johnny Gaudreau in 2013.
Size as a defenseman, and we were wondering, would he have enough to play against big forwards? As Boldy comes in and scores!
If you're the rest of Hockey East, you're starting to get nervous looking at this Hardman, Newhook, Boldy line.
Continuing our prospect conversation, Brad Bombardier and Tim Army had some great things to add about Calen Addison's game when we touched base with them last week. We also caught up with Calen himself. Here's what they had to say.
Calen Addison has been outstanding. He's a talented puck-moving defenseman that has great instincts for the game. He's outstanding with the puck. He sees the game naturally. He's got great quickness. He's got great feet. He can escape pressure. He can get you into transition with a lot of speed and a lot of pace. He moves the puck extremely well. Again, for him, it's not complicating it. He's been able to do things on his own. He can beat 1-2 guys and create space, but at the pro level, he's got to move the puck a little bit quicker. But that's going to come. But been very, very good. Outstanding in the power play. Like I said, he's got a natural gift offensively, and great feet, great mobility. He's a very, very, very exciting young prospect. He's played extremely well.
You know that the young legs are certainly showing in the American Hockey League right now with a guy like Calen Addison, or even all of the young guys. But we've been really pleased with Calen. You know, he's a puck-friendly guy, so you know, you like it when he has the puck on his stick all over the ice, and he's showing tremendous poise and showing some tremendous skating ability as well. I mean, he has a real good knack for retrieving pucks and getting the turn on the first forechecker. And as soon as he gets the turn on the first forechecker coming up the ice, lanes open for him and options open for him. And, you know, that's a factor of his skating ability, but also his confidence in playing the game. So he's a really confident guy, and we've been really pleased with him. He's been very competitive, and he's in the game all the time. So he wants to make a difference, and he wants that puck on his stick to make a difference. You know, but there's areas that he needs to get better at. His D zone for sure. He just needs to dial that in and stay in those battles a little bit longer. You know, these junior guys, they come out of junior and they're asked to produce offense all the time at the junior levels. And then defending is kind of second nature for them at that level. But we do like him because he's in the right spots defending. And so he's in the right areas, which means he's smart and he's making good reads and he knows he's in there. He just has to stay in the fight a little bit longer at times and then know when to get out and support the play up the ice.
I mean, it's definitely a mental thing just as much as it is physical, if not more. And, I think we had some really hard practices, a few weeks of, really long, hard practices that, really helped us get in game shape leading up to these games. And, there's nothing compared to being in actual game form shape. But you can definitely do lots of hard skates, lots of good practicing, scrimmaging leading up to it. So that's what we did, and it paid off definitely. I think we're in good shape, and I think we had a pretty good weekend.
We're also involved in a trade for Jason Zucker. What was that experience like?
It was weird. I kind of answered at the same time or the same way every time. I think it was a weekday, and I was actually having a nap after dinner. I think I just woke up to a call and a text and from Pittsburgh just saying I'd been traded, and then I got a call from Billy a little while later. So it was definitely something I never thought was going to happen, especially to wake up from a nap, just on a random day getting a call, text like that. But I mean, that's the way hockey works, and I couldn't be happier to be here. And it's been unbelievable in Minnesota and in Iowa so far.
And talk about the days following the news after you get traded. What do? You just pack your stuff right away? What do you do when it comes to finding a place to live? What is that transition period like?
Well, I was still in junior, so it was a month, just a little over a month after World Juniors that happened last year, and I was just kind of getting settled back with my junior team, ready to go on a run in the playoffs and stuff, obviously before COVID hit and all that stuff. But I mean, just focus on my junior season. There was nothing I could do at the time to help Iowa or Minnesota. I was still in Lethbridge, so all I did was just try to continue being the player I am and just be a good person on and off the ice. And I think it's led into this summer. It was nice to get down there for that camp before the bubble, get to meet everyone's staff and players, and then obviously to get the season rolling here finally. It's been awesome, and everyone's been great to me.
We've received some questions about the sponsor of our show, Pilot Games, so we thought we'd bring you up to speed. Pilot Games is a global leader in innovative electronic pull tab games. They've partnered with the Minnesota Wild to help create a greater state of hockey through a Wild-branded e-pull tab game. Funds from the game at over 260 locations will help fund youth hockey organizations throughout the state. Make sure you look for Let's Go Wild wherever you like to play pull tabs in the very near future and help youth hockey organizations all over the state. Congratulations to Jordan Greenway on being selected to be part of Microsoft's Legacy Project, a celebration of Black Changemakers, a program where Microsoft virtually transports 13 of the world's top Black History Museum exhibits into every student's home or classroom across North America. Jordan is featured in the Blacks Changing the Game section of the virtual museum, showcasing him as the first African American to play for Team USA Hockey. Congrats, Jordan. Make sure to check out the cool interactive website and find Jordan in the Game Changers section. Also in honor of Black History Month, check out the skates that Jordan rocked in warm-ups the other night. Very cool design from Bauer, highlighting Willie O'Ree and the barriers that so many Black athletes have overcome over the years. A couple weeks ago, the ice crew at the Xcel Energy Center had a new face try out for the gig. Let's take a look at the pressure one must endure to make it on the ice crew.
Well, I am the privileged one tonight. I get to help out with the ice crew. It's honestly been sort of a bucket list thing for me. I heard a rumor the other night that they might be short tonight, and I'm like, could I please do that? So is there any kind of initiation thing that we have to go through at all?
Don't have your shovel upside down like I did.
Okay. I've always secretly wanted to do this, and everything is different these days, right? In the middle of a pandemic, but here's one silver lining. I get to be on the ice crew. Here we go. Let's go, boys. Let's go, girls. Here we go. I specifically requested to be as far away from the Wild bench as possible so that there's no headline tomorrow about, Wild employee takes out one of the key Wild players along the bench while shoveling.
And he's got plenty of practice on outdoor rink shoveling and that stuff, so same thing, just a roof over the rink.
Erica McKenzie is here tonight with me as well. It's like all hands on deck right now, and we're a team, and this is a good example of that as well. Woo! It all worked out. No blood yet, so that's awesome too. No blood.
Make sure to head over to our YouTube channel to watch this week's episode of Beyond Our Ice. Here's a bit of what you might have missed.
So this is what it sounds like to play a game out here nowadays, huh? Exciting. Nice and quiet. In order to start up again, you obviously do physicals, and to get into the season, you need to be cleared to play. And something popped up on my physical, and we flagged it, and thank God we caught it when we did. And it just was one of those things where it required time off. It was hard just not being able to do anything. You couldn't work out, you couldn't run, none of that stuff. So, after that, you just kind of accept it, and you got to just understand that things are going to get better. And, fortunate for me, they did. Being in the locker room and seeing the guys every morning, that's the thing I miss the most. And I'm looking forward to, working my way to get back and hopefully contribute. Alrighty, crank it up. Working with Freddie here now, it's a few things we're working on and tweaking, but the main thing right now is obviously my cardio and my fitness. You never know when's your last game going to be, and you don't take anything for granted. Every day is you're lucky to come to the rink and play hockey for a living. Back here and around the guys, I'm excited.
Things are quickly picking up right where they left off, and I think we can expect a lot more news to happen in the Wild organization throughout the rest of the season. We'll have you covered with everything you need to know. This is going to do it for another episode of Wild Amplified presented by Pilot Games. I'm Kirsten Kroll, and we'll see you again next week.